Hey guys, welcome to my vlog. I'm so excited to be going to BGC today. Let's go!
In today's video, we see the average vlogger happy and giddy with excitement. But in reality, life is much different. The toll of vlogging has affected him greatly. He is mentally breaking down with every passing day. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Oh, darkness, my old friend!
Hey frackers, it's Editing Isaac here. This is a fracking long video, a heavy video. So I know not all of you are gonna have the time to watch this. I have chaptered all the different sections on the truth of vlogging, so if you wanna just skip to a certain one, please feel free to do that. Just hover over the playhead bar thing and you'll find all the chapters there, or in the description. If you are planning on watching the whole video, get yourself some popcorn. It's a nice long one, but it's also one of our most insightful videos that we've made. So no further distractions, let's get into the truth of vlogging.
Hey, everybody.
The truth about vlogging in the Philippines. The world isn't as it seems. You know, sometimes you gotta take a deeper look at things, and sometimes even that won't tell you the full story. So today we're gonna be telling you that full story.
You might just be living in the Matrix and you don't even know it. Are you red-pilled or blue-pilled? I mean, we've been vlogging in the Philippines now for 7 months. And we've been vlogging, travel vlogging longer than that, actually.
If you wanna know, actually, let's find the exact date of our original vlog channel that we are not gonna tell you what it is. 2011.
Wow.
2011 was when we first started vlogging, technically speaking. I was a mere 9 years old.
Wow, I mean, look at this vlog channel. What do we have on here? Italy.
Minneapolis airport, going to Chicago, parking lot vlog,
Elevator fail.
puppies with guns, boy stuck in a hole for 3 days. We've been vlogging for a long time, so we have quite the insight to give you guys on this. We're here to give you the full honest truth. You know, it's hard to just say we're gonna give you the honest truth, because on YouTube, anything that's labeled as honest is just a way to get clicks. But we're here to tell you that we're giving you our, it might not be always correct to some people, but our honest truth.
What is reality? Plato once locked people in a cave.
I mean, we're all gonna be dead soon. So.
To start off this video, I kind of want to talk about our travel history because with Philippines vloggers, first of all, there seems to be a lot of misconceptions about our travel history and people just assuming the Philippines was like the first place we've ever traveled to. But then there is a lot of vloggers where the Philippines is the first actual place they went and vlogged to. So first of all, for me, I've been traveling, I mean, basically my whole life. If you count around the US, around 16 is the first time I went internationally. I went to Italy. After that, I kind of fell in love with traveling. My first year of college, I would start traveling to Europe 1 month a year, basically. COVID hit. After COVID, we decided to move to Georgia after things took off with our reaction channel, and we started being able to make a living off of that. We traveled around Georgia for months, then we went to...
Making vlogs.
Making vlogs, yes. And then to Dubai, making vlogs, and then we actually had quite a successful run of vlogs in India, well over 1 million views on our vlogs.
We maybe had 80,000 views on our vlog channel before then. Although we were still making vlogs before, it definitely increased the output of vlogs.
Yes.
So that's just something to factor in before we get into the actual truth here.
After India, we went home, and that's actually when we started posting the India vlogs, is when we were home in the US for at least a year, almost 2 years at this point. We've been on our other channels, geography and our music reaction channels, we've had people telling us, come to the Philippines, come to the Philippines, come to the Philippines.
Guess what we did? We died.
We never showed up. This is all just an illusion. We're all dead, actually.
Wake up.
We are now in the Philippines. We've been in the Philippines for a while. We've been vlogging for a while, and now we have some truths about our experience vlogging in the Philippines, our things we've noticed in the community, things we've noticed from our just experiences throughout these last few months, and we're here to tell you about those right now.
We're actually gonna play a little twist on it. We're gonna be playing 2 truths and 1 lie, so you guys are gonna have to guess what the lie is. Just kidding. The first thing, thinking that you might be thinking that this is... You might be thinking, oh, the truth, it's all gonna be negative things, but we actually wanna start it off on a positive note. Vlogging allows us to not only document our memories and relive them in the future, which is so cool, it allows us to experience these countries in a completely different way. We get to, some of our most popular videos are us just walking down random streets with no objective because our objective is making a vlog. So we're just walking down these streets with no objective, and we get to feel how the city works, feel everything about it, and it's so cool, and it's something that we actually enjoy doing, is vlogging. Obviously, we haven't done it in so long. So it gives us an objective while we're traveling. But also on the flip side, you gotta go to some places specifically because you need a vlog to do well.
Let's say we've been traveling, we went to a few places, we were on a lot of long buses, and then we're like, maybe let's just chill out for a while. At least when we were posting daily, we were always like, shoot, we need to do another vlog. No matter if we were burnt out or what, it was on to the next vlog. And then at the same time, you have people in the comments saying, en masse, just go here, go here, go here, go here.
As soon as we go to one of those places, okay, cool, go here, go here.
Yeah, a lot of times it's because they saw a Facebook article about this place or a different vlogger went there and they're like, oh, this person went here. Oh, I saw this place. You guys go there.
One of the things that is so interesting, I mean, a lot of people don't know us that well in truth, but they never factor in what we actually enjoy to do as we travel. Some people will tell us to go do some nightlife stuff, to go to like a modern area of a city, to go to some festivals, and that's clearly, if you've watched vlogs where we've done that before, it's not our forte, if you will.
It's a lot of people forcing what they've seen from other vloggers or what they like to see from other content and being like, you're a vlogger, be like that too.
Just like everything in the world, it's to each their own. Each people have different interests. Nothing wrong with you liking that and you liking people going there.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different. Some people I really enjoyed, like where they were like, Baguio seems like your type of destination. They know we like hiking, a nice chill area. They were completely correct, and we love that, because I bet you Baguio would be a place, if you search up on Google, you're not going to see to go to the Philippines. That insight we'd only know through vlogging.
And people wanting us to do things like that kind of brings us to our next point, is that kind of the whole concept of vlogging, and that we've noticed from travel vlogging, not even in just the Philippines, but other countries as well, is that honesty and reality of what is actually being experienced by the vlogger is not the most important thing. The most important thing is telling the viewers what they want to hear.
It is like true in a sense. It's not going to be very enjoyable to go and watch a vlog that is just someone just complaining the whole time and talking about how everything sucks. I mean, like personally, I don't think I would ever watch a vlog like that. But at the same time, the vloggers, it's this extreme that's created where nothing can be bad, nothing can be negative. You can't complain about anything. If you know anyone, or if you personally have traveled for at least like a month, things go bad. That's just how it goes. Things go bad when we travel for a month. We're gonna complain about it because it's something stupid that happens that doesn't need to be happening. It's our honest truth. We're always gonna show the honesty.
People want to know our journey, they want to know about our adventure, but we notice a lot of people don't want to hear about the actual negative parts of the adventure that happen. And instead of us being like, hey, we got this hotel, it was infested with cockroaches, I'm sure there's plenty of people who got pissed that we put that in the video. They just wanted us to cut that out. Just pretend that didn't happen.
A day where we're exhausted from being on a bus for 7 hours, hungry because we haven't eaten and everything was closed, and we just found the hotel online after doing a little bit of research. Point later in the video. And we just wanted to sleep. Find out that we can't sleep. We're obviously going to be upset. That's just how the world works, you know. Apparently, you just can't show that side in vlogs. I mean, it seems like I would guess most people are fine with what happened at Boracay. It's always such a weird dichotomy, because let's see here. Let's just do a quick calculation. Our most recent video, 21,000 views and 244 comments. Literally 1% of people that watch the video comment on it. So they represent the 21,000 that just watched that video. So although they represent them, there's 99% of other people that are a silent viewer here that aren't expressing what they actually think about it, which is not a bad thing. I never comment on YouTube videos. Nothing wrong with that. When there's 5 people in that 1%, it kind of feels like it's more of a prominent thing when maybe no one cared at all that we included that part in the Boracay hotel. So that's another truth about the vlogging. And then if we start to cut out those honest parts, then we lead into something. This is actually a Mr. Beast thing. Biggest YouTuber
T-Series?
in the world even said it himself. If you want to get super big, you can't have a personality, because people are gonna make up their minds if they don't like your personality or if they do. So if we aren't honest, we no longer have a personality, which is what we want to do in vlogs.
You notice some vloggers, not specifically even Philippines vloggers, but yes, also Philippines vloggers, even like whole international vloggers, they will go places, they will just have a list of talking points, a list of places they need to go, and they will check every single box of those talking points.
Nothing ever bad happens in their trips, even though something definitely does. They just don't show it on camera.
Nothing ever tastes bad. Transportation isn't ever a problem. There's no rude people. It's just everything is glorious. Unless sometimes if they can get a nice video about a scammer.
And usually with the like, oh, everything is perfect, it brings us to the concept of Pinoy baiting, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting concept.
It's one we've been hearing a lot about since we started doing our reactions, and honestly, it's not something we knew because we started doing music reactions. That's where it all started. And then we're like, you know what, we like traveling, we like geography, let's try to do
geography stuff, because we have a wide international audience of music lovers.
And people loved it. I mean, that channel was our fastest growing channel we've had. It like shot over 100K so fast. And then we kept getting these comments, Pinoy baiters. And we're like, is that even me? What is this concept? Don't you bait anything by making a YouTube video? If you make a Marvel video,
you're Marvel baiting.
Are you Marvel baiting? I don't understand.
In that sense, we were like shocked by what Pinoy baiting was, and like we'd get it, and it's like the whole point of YouTube is to intrigue someone into clicking on your videos, and we're like, what the heck? Why are people complaining about us doing that?
But then we got into the Philippine vlogger sphere.
And sometimes some other reactions would pop up as well, and now we understand the concept.
The greatest place I've ever seen in the history of the universe?
While they're reacting, they're just going all out for something. While they're in a spot, they walk up to a place and they're like, no way.
Start crying. I mean, it's...
The only reaction I've ever had to that was New Year's in the Philippines, which was just a surreal moment, to be honest. There's just so much going on, sensory overload. That's just gonna happen. But when they walk up to like a glass building and do that.
A bridge. Something, anything like that. Okay, Pinoy baiting comes to this thing. They know people are proud of it. I think a lot of them know people are kind of overly proud of these things, to be a little controversial. So they'll use that to their advantage.
Yes.
And they'll really hype up the, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing.
And the over-proud people love it. And then the sort of anti-proud, I don't know if there's a word for that, people are like, ew, why are they doing this? And then it sort of creates the whole Pinoy baiting concept, and then sometimes the anti-proud people just assume anyone that's in the Philippines making vlogs is Pinoy baiting. Doesn't make sense, but I do understand the concept.
Yeah.
And with Pinoy baiting, there was a comment we actually got about Pinoy baiting, and they were talking about how we make millions of dollars.
We're fracking rich? Why is this room only like 30 feet long? Whoa! Ow!
My phone is now more broken.
Oh, did it fix it? I fixed your phone!
Guys, my screen was freaking out before.
You're welcome.
It's still cracked, but
I'm charging you whatever that BGC place was going to charge you for fixing your phone.
$50 for a consultation.
$50, you owe me.
So our next honest thing we're going to be talking about is how much money we make here.
Is there an answer to that? Not really. I hate this chair. You know what? If we weighed millions dollars, I wouldn't have this chair.
Let me just grab this screw that's from that chair that's on the ground, by the way. But it's a very complex question, to say the least. I'm going to start off the groundwork by saying how we could afford to start in the first place, start traveling. We both got money while he was in college, while I was in high school, working our part-time jobs. That gave us enough money to start posting more on our YouTube channel and started doing well for the K-pop and the geography channel. Then that gave us enough passive income slightly. We still didn't make more than our travel expenses, but it made us enough income to allow us to travel, do that India trip, and then eventually the India trip showed us that we might be able to travel and hopefully make more money on the vlog channel. So that's how it first started. Now how it's going currently, some months we make less than we spend on videos. So we're losing money, and that's going into our reserves of money that we made from our part-time jobs a long time ago. Some months we make like 3 times what we spend on videos. Although it's still not a ton of money.
We're able to live decently.
Yes, so we'll be completely honest in the fact that we're able to live decently. But with that being said, it kind of just goes with how our personalities are. We only spend money on videos. We spend money on practically nothing else. Food and our accommodation.
And a PC. But that was for videos.
That was for making our editing easier. So those are basically our only non-vlog expenses.
I mean, everything we do for fun, we basically do for a video.
Some months we are below the poverty line in the US, let's just say that. And with the money, even though we don't make enough money some months, we still don't like to ask for money, and we've noticed a lot, almost every travel vlogger has like a buy me a coffee, which we actually started now, just because of how YouTube takes more of super thanks, and people just send super thanks normally. But we do not like asking for money, and when we see these massive vloggers who already have money asking for money, it's a bit interesting to us.
We want to do like YouTube memberships because people have asked for that. We don't know what to give.
And it doesn't feel right just having people pay us monthly for nothing, almost.
So we're trying to figure out what to do for tiers for that, but I don't know.
And then there's also like some vloggers that'll have like courses on teaching you how to travel and stuff like that. As soon as they have a course, let me just tell you, it's a scam.
Get out of there.
If you're paying to learn how to travel, you're already losing out on an aspect of travel, which is the money part.
Yep, and you're losing out on another aspect, which is discovering things about yourself by going to these places.
And you're gonna learn very quickly in their course that they're always just gonna talk about how you need passive income, which is 1,000 times easier than said than done. Everyone will always be like, oh, you need passive income, blah, 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 blah. Then you can just travel. And then their way of getting passive income is by scamming other people and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, cryptocurrency.
Oh, let me start an NFT.
Oh.
Just don't fall for it. That's all we gotta say. Don't sign up for any courses. It's really not gonna help you become a vlogger if that's what you're going for, or a great traveler. You really just gotta find your own style and do it yourself.
There's a lot of free resources online.
There are a lot of free resources. Oh, this is a free resource?
This is sort of a free resource. Pay us, no, just pay us.
Right now!
Pay us.
We have our PayPal right there. Send us a direct check for $1,000. We don't have our PayPal down there. Yeah. We're not rich. But one thing we have noticed is that for some reason, and this necessarily isn't Philippines vloggers once again, it's just the niche, the travel vlog niche. We've been noticing a lot of new vloggers that are super rich. I mean, they show up in this niche and they'll have 15, 20K subs, way less than us.
Only 10 videos.
They will have the nicest camera. Like,
1,000 times better than ours.
way nicer. They'll have a cameraman. They'll have all of this like insane editing. They'll have intros and voiceovers. They definitely have multiple editors.
Enough to make us watch it and be very jealous.
They're staying in 5-star hotels that they are definitely not getting for free. They're just doing everything.
They get to do every attraction, and then when we go to those places, we see the attraction and it's like $200 and we're like, oh my gosh.
We can't afford it. It just seems like with many other things on YouTube recently, it's you pay to win. And people are showing up.
If you want to be a vlogger, unless if you have a lot of free time and a lot of determination to just post nonstop, even if the videos don't do well.
You have to be willing to take a risk.
Yes. Otherwise you need money. That's just how it works.
Almost all the vloggers, we'll see them, we'll be like, how did these guys start vlogging? And then they're like, yeah, I worked at this corporate company for like 5 years, and then I just started vlogging. And
yeah, I thought, screw the 9-to-5 job. Let me just go and travel the world. Obviously comes from a very privileged place if they're able to just screw their 9-to-5. And with that being said, we also come from a very privileged place. I will admit that. Just the fact that we were able to work and all of that money went to us as high schoolers and as someone in college.
So no bills to pay.
No bills to pay. And we had so much time to invest into YouTube. We came from a privileged enough place to start the channel. I will admit that 100%.
We were really privileged with time.
Yes. But with that being said also, we did have, the only expenses we had were like, I paid for my car, he paid for his car back in the US. We never were given money. Let's just say it like that. And those vloggers we've also noticed tend to live in this like rich bubble. It's so easy if you live in BGC to just live in BGC. Everything there is what you need to live a daily life. It's so easy to just live in a bubble, not experience the true feel of the country, the true culture of the country. And I will 100% admit that we are doing that too at the moment. We don't want to necessarily, but I mean, there's no reason for us not to. We literally live in grass residences, which is connected to SM North. Everything we need is in SM North. We just walk a walkway, and we're in SM North. So we live in this bubble too, and that's an interesting thing that's created with the vlogging. It's a bubble.
We try at least, but we notice some people, they don't even eat with a fork and a spoon.
What are you doing?
Are you kidding me? They don't even eat rice?
The immersing in the culture thing is very interesting. Some people will make videos saying that they immerse in the culture. They'll go film an entire video on the MRT line, and I have a strong feeling that they never have used that MRT after that.
Definitely not.
We used to use that MRT every single day. Now we don't as much. We still use it a frack ton. We still jump on jeepneys all the time.
Tricycles. I mean, it's just because there is a life off camera that, especially for us, you really don't see, because we post a video 3 videos a week at this point now, and we do a lot of stuff off camera.
We're only sharing 20 minutes of our day on the days we vlog.
Those are days where we specifically go out to certain areas to film. I mean, we go to Filipino restaurants off camera. We eat some of the foods we have eaten on camera. continued to eat them. Like, I eat so much rice now, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah. Jollibee, my gosh, that little frackin' beef. I don't order food as much anymore, but Jollibee's in the to-go ones, you know. It's so tasty.
People have been asking for videos of us cooking Filipino food. I cook Filipino food sometimes in my condo. Our life is a lot more assimilated into Filipino culture than I think a lot of people think from watching our videos, because in our videos we still go to new places and we seem out of place still in our videos, and I don't think people realize how often we interact with locals, whether it's here in Grass or in SM North, or like people we buy stuff from off camera because we don't film it.
But yeah, with the interaction with locals actually brings up another truth about the vlogging. The local friendliness is very different. People react to you different when you're holding a camera and when you're not. So that's just something that just happens. Obviously it makes total sense. If I see someone else holding a camera, I look at the camera, and if it's facing me, I give it a little...
Just in the background of their picture?
I give it a nice awkward smile just to be a little funny. And some people might not want to be on camera, and that's totally okay. But we have noticed that people treat you completely different when you're on camera and off camera. Not to say that they treat you bad one way or the other. They treat you very nice both ways.
And that's a reason why we say we don't whip out the camera when we're having conversations with people, because we know it will change the whole conversation. It will go from just being a friendly back and forth discussion to an interview. Just like that.
Think about it like this. Think about how if you're conversing with me, you don't know I'm a vlogger, and we're having a good conversation. If we were conversing, Tyler would either say, "Oh, do you mind if I film this?" And I'm like, "Sure." Or he just whips out the camera while I'm talking without giving permission. Those are the two scenarios, and both of them change the person's reaction.
If you don't admit right now that if somebody whipped out a camera in front of your face out of nowhere that you would change, you are lying to yourself.
After that, I just want to talk about how we get treated off camera. People treat us completely differently. Like, so when on camera, Tyler will be holding the camera, say, and walking. People don't sometimes they'll look at us and not. People tend to look at the camera. When we're just walking, or when I'm walking alone, people look at me in my face. They look at me in my eyes and make eye contact.
And then do you give them this?
Howdy there, partner. It doesn't change the amount of stares we get, I don't think.
No,
I get stared at so much even off camera. That's just something. Luckily, it does seem like most of the time it's friendly stares, but also there's an interesting situation we ran into recently.
I mean, with the stares, I think comes preconceived notion about us and about things like that we're doing in the Philippines, or
why we're here.
Think about the Philippines. Then if you throw on top of that, we also post videos that get millions of views a month collectively. We definitely have opinions about us, whether they are correct opinions or not.
Whether they are positive or negative.
They are floating around the people that we walk by every single day. And recently, it was pretty fun. It wasn't that recently. It was about when we went and saw John Wick. There was a situation. We were just standing there. We weren't even vlogging. We were just standing there trying to figure out the tickets.
He's someone I would see walking and I'd be like, oh, that's a nice young fellow.
He wasn't. We were just standing. We literally were doing nothing. We were talking very quietly like we usually do when we're off camera. Mm-hmm. And just standing just out of the way. This guy walks by us and he goes, douchebags. You didn't hear it, did you?
It was a weird interaction because I heard his footsteps coming very close as if he was going to approach us. You kind of get a feel for when someone's approaching you, you know. But I noticed he just kind of walked behind us, and we weren't in the walkway.
No,
we were away from the walkway. So I was like, "What the heck?" And then he like coughed really weird right behind Tyler. Did he say something?
And I said, "Yeah." He just said douchebags, and then I said it loud so he could hear us. And then I turn and I look at him, and he's like looking directly at the ground.
Basically, like you know when the dog curls their tail up.
And he was like really tense suddenly, and we kind of have like a smirk like this.
This is how I looked at him, because when people just out of nowhere are mean to me, I get very confused because I'm like, I want to know why almost. So this was my reaction. Imagine you're him walking away.
And this is mine. I was more like this. I was like, I don't know, like a smirk, like, did you really just say that? And then he's walking face down and he goes like this. He goes, and he looks directly at me, and then he goes, and he just right down, and then suddenly juts it into Subway like really fast.
We talked about the situation for like a minute or two, and then we went back to going on our phone, figuring out for like 10-15 minutes, talking about what we wanted to do for the day. We thought at that point that he was a Subway worker because he was in there for 15-20 minutes. We walked by, he was just standing in the corner, not where people were waiting for their order, but where people were waiting to order.
he was very physically, he was going like this. Like his foot was twitching. I think he was very scared.
But yeah, so he was obviously like wanting to avoid confrontation, even though he started a confrontation, which is very interesting to us. Obviously, something that it's one of those things. It's a negative thing that happened, but it's a funny little memory that we enjoyed. But it's just something that happens as a vlogger. People are gonna like you, or people are not gonna like you, like we mentioned before with our personality.
And again, we kind of wanted to know.
Yeah, I want to know why.
I don't know if it was from the vlogs or if it's just because
he just doesn't like white people.
It's possible.
/ American.
Those exist. You can try to deny it, but there are people that do think we're douchebags because we are Americans or we are white. We don't know what it was. It's probably from a video.
I was curious. I wanted to know, but yeah, it was from a video.
We weren't hostile towards them. We didn't be like, "Hey, you got something to say?" It didn't do anything. We just looked at them.
Like everything, we just were like.
We're just like, what the heck? And then laugh about it.
Anytime crazy situations happen that are out of the blue, we kind of just like go silent, make a weird face, and then just kind of laugh. That's something that happens with vlogging. Obviously, it's not a frequent occurrence. Anyone who, if you did know us from our vlog channel, we have been met with 99% of people that know us from our vlog channel are super positive and super nice. Some of the nicest interactions we have are people who know us from our vlog channel.
We also know from the comments that people can really, really misinterpret our thoughts and our actual opinions about things because we're very sarcastic and very satirical a lot of the times.
It's very easy for people to get a misconception of us, I guess, and
so
it's not any fault of their own. It's literally just how we are as a character. It's very easy to misconceive who we are. With creating like sarcasm, which that's a whole nother thing we can explain in another video. Sarcasm. I think people just assume we're very arrogant, egotistical people because of that, when in all actuality we're very shy and pretty awkward people. So like the complete opposite, and like especially when we're filming, you know, like we already mentioned, we don't like to film people. As soon as someone tells us not to vlog, we're like, well.
Or if we're filming skits, there's too many people, we're like, maybe let's go over in the woods or something.
You notice we only film skits when no one's around. So yeah, it's not who we are. Obviously, there is an ego associated with just seeing numbers on a screen going up and people praising what you're doing. So there's obviously going to be a subconscious ego that just goes along with it. But when we watch other vloggers, the ego these people get is they get some big heads.
This is as big as a head as I can get.
And we think viewers don't notice it. It's clear to us. They'll have some nice interactions with some people, but then they'll film people without permission that clearly don't want to be on camera. They'll have no respect for the people around them while they're going. But then when it comes to a situation where they want to interact with a local and make it look good on camera, they can be so friendly and jolly, but they have these big egos. They think that they can get to the front of a line because they're vloggers. They think that they deserve special treatment because they're vloggers. It's hard to explain exactly how we can tell. As people, we like to observe how, that's one of the things we always do when we go to other countries. We observe how people interact with each other. We don't necessarily always push ourselves into interactions to get it firsthand. We like to observe how they interact with each other. And we observe people, and it's gotten us slightly better at picking up on
social cues?
Yeah, social cues on how people interact. And with that, we notice these things with vloggers, just like the small things where you're like, ooh, they don't care that they're being loud on the MRT when it's clearly there's signs saying no talking and stuff like that.
They don't care that they are interviewing the restaurant worker, and the restaurant worker clearly is not responding like, oh yeah, like they're one-word answers.
Yes, no.
Turn the camera on themselves and there's a line behind them.
They find themselves breaking a rule that if everyone else broke that rule, it'd be chaos. But since they're vloggers, they get to be the one exception to that rule. You know, stuff like that. The vlog ego is very apparent. And especially, we didn't get it as much because we already had initial growth on YouTube before we came. Especially the new channels that get like a nice boost right away. They get 10,000 subscribers in a week, which is very impressive. These people's egos.
Suddenly they're like, yeah, I'm a vlogger, guys. Yeah, guys, I've been blowing up.
Some of these people are like, wow, I'm famous now. We always are thinking that there's a chance things could just stop. There's always some time where people could just not be interested in you. We always have that in the back of our mind, and that's something that is against the vlog ego. These people feel, the vlog ego makes you feel on top of the world.
I mean, that's just how it is. And then a lot of times with Philippines vloggers, I think this is something that happens, and I don't think they realize. When you make travel videos, this niche is a lot different than I think a lot of people expect it to be. Like we said in a previous video, we expected the travel vlog niche to be people interested in traveling. Actually, it's people interested in foreigners experiencing their country.
Which is also cool.
It is cool. I've watched a few videos of like people trying Minnesota food or whatever the heck.
Yeah, you get to see an outside perspective.
But I don't think a lot of vloggers really get that that's the case. And it's something that we found out in the K-pop sphere, especially early, is that viewers are there for a certain thing. They're not necessarily there in these niches for you.
No.
At least a good chunk of them.
When they click on a video, they're not clicking on it for you until they know you.
Yeah, if they watch you for a while, it's very possible they're like, this person did this, I want to watch them before everybody else. Something I think travel vloggers don't understand, at least Philippines vloggers, is that when you go to a new country, the views are not gonna follow you.
It's almost so interesting that some of our commenters don't get to understand that either.
No. And no matter how many, every time we leave this country, we know the views are gonna go down. We expect it. When we go to a new country, we have 83, whatever this video is posted, 1,000 subscribers.
If we go to Vietnam, we might have 10 Vietnamese subscribers on our channel max.
We go in we're thinking we have 0 subs from this channel.
Yes.
0. So we expect the views of a channel with 0 subs. It's rebuilding a base from a different country. Gone to India with 0 subs. We did very well. We went to Malaysia. We did better than we expected.
We were like, we'll be very happy if we get 10,000 views per video on average.
We got average 30.
We were still getting comments when we were in Malaysia like, oh, your views are down, blah, 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 blah. Why don't you come back to the Philippines, blah, 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 blah. They weren't honestly that down. It's just the curve is longer.
Yes.
So that's the reality of vlogging. Your first video in a new country, you'll lose a decent amount of subs from the previous country. You'll lose like 50 to 100 subs right away from that previous country. But it's not like they were gonna watch you anyways after that. And then the views are gonna start way lower. And then you slowly get a little more views as you go, building up a new base, a new audience. And then as soon as you leave that country,
Restart.
It's just like a cycle like that.
Even if you come back to the Philippines, you have to rebuild your viewership, because the way YouTube works,
The algorithm is addiction.
a lot of people, again, when we pointed this out, they're like, that's not how it works. It is how it works. We've tested it numerous times. When you leave the country and you fall out of somebody's, if they stop clicking on your videos a few times, like when we went to Vietnam, again, we had an amount that we expected and we surpassed.
I'm very happy.
We fell out of the sphere because we had 8 or 9 Vietnam videos, and then for 8 or 9 videos straight, Filipinos stopped clicking on the videos. So we fell out of their recommendations. And the only way we get back in their recommendations is if we just keep posting, and wait for us to eventually pop up again. And it takes a while.
Yes, and we still don't know exactly what determines what pops up, but it takes a long time. And even if you subscribe to us, it makes very little difference because the YouTube algorithm is all based off addiction. It's just clicking on what you clicked on recently.
Homepage.
So just slap it on there. So although the subscriptions help in creating like more attraction to videos in general,
Put your notos on.
yeah, the only way that a subscription actually helps the viewer is by putting it in the sub feed.
People don't usually go to the sub feed anymore.
But it doesn't hurt the viewer at all. So if you want to hit subscribe right now. But yeah, so that's just a little insight on how the travel is when you go to different countries. It's a very interesting thing, and it can possibly destroy good videos of yours because you're just in a transitional phase. But if you're a travel vlogger out there, don't let it get you down. Keep posting.
And don't think just because one thing works in a particular country, like if you go to the Philippines, somehow everything is working for you in the Philippines, that you can go to Indonesia and do the same thing. You might have to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, some people like different things in different countries.
A lot of the same titles work in a lot of different countries, but once you get past that, it'll start going back down.
But at the same time, if you are a vlogger, the whole goal should never be views. It's good to set a goal and to be itching towards a goal and accomplish it, and hopefully it gives you that satisfaction to keep going, keep motivating. But you also need a passion to travel.
A lot of vloggers really don't seem to have that passion.
You can make it without having a passion, which is interesting.
Like we said, a lot of people go and they just do the talking points. They go to a city, whether it's India, Philippines, Indonesia, where, oh, I need to try this food because this vlogger went here and got this many views.
And I have to like it.
Interesting. I mean, sure, a lot of them probably do like trying the different cuisines and trying the different foods. We love trying different foods in different countries. But when they have the same exact title for every single new cuisine in every single country, that's when you start being like, do they really like it?
And it's another one of those things. We mentioned this in a previous video. It's hard too at the same time because the title sometimes won't do as well if you don't do that exact same title.
Yeah, that's the problem. The Pinoy Baiting, once again, comes around with if you don't really try to...
At least for the title and thumbnail.
Really throw something at them that people are going to be like, oh, they like this thing in the Philippines? Me too. And then they click on it. Sometimes it's just not going to get as many views. And obviously, views equals revenue. And if you're not making enough revenue, you're not making enough money to survive. But then again,
it shouldn't be all about revenue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can't do this if we're not making enough revenue.
It's a problem. As a lot of you probably know, we've posted daily right away. We posted every single day. But then we started to realize our video quality is going way down.
The video quality is usually decently proportional with how much we're enjoying traveling. When you're traveling just to make videos sometimes, at that point we were sticking to daily. Sometimes we were doing things that we didn't want to do. We didn't enjoy it as much, and then the video quality would go down.
Suddenly videos started being shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
We take a video, we'd normally have a 30-minute video, and we have 3 10-minute videos out of it.
Because we're just like, we need 3 days off. Okay, let's make 3 videos out of this. And I mean, it's again, we've seen this before where travel vloggers, they're going through a place and they're just having the time of their life. It's the best thing ever. And then suddenly they're like, guys, I can't do this anymore.
I'm taking a break.
I gotta go. My life is so hard.
I haven't been enjoying traveling for the last few months.
But all the videos, they're loving it. It's the best time of their life.
So it's very interesting if you ever do see that with someone that's always positive, never expressing any negative things, and then they say that they can't handle it at the moment. That means there was a lot of negative things going on. That's just the reality of it.
So we understand like how hard it is to really pump out the content and why the people that really are always positive, I mean, it's a hard work to actually do that and just keep doing it over and over. We've been here in the Philippines for 7 months, and reality, to keep ourselves sane and not just feel like we're just doing it just to do it, we've really only traveled around for maybe 2 months.
Maybe, yeah. Based off that ratio, we spend so much more time editing. Although it's not like insanely hard to do, it's extremely time consuming. If you post a 40-minute video, it's not that hard to edit, but it might take 4 hours. And if you're posting that daily, you have to go film the video, and especially in Manila, it'll take an hour and a half to get out there and then an hour and a half and get back. That's like 6 hours of time, then 4 hours for editing, and then another hour for title, description, thumbnail, stuff and that. You're working an 11-hour day. And that's with 2 people. Some of these people are doing it solo, so I gotta applaud them for keeping to it for a while.
It's not easy. That is the reality of vlogging. So just remember that when you're watching somebody's videos and they're just like, they're definitely scrounging like everyone else out in this game.
It's not easy, but by God, is it fun.
It is fun.
Just with how much we are putting into videos and how little time we already have, the whole aspect of do your research, it's just not very apparent for us. It makes total sense if you're doing a weekend trip somewhere to know exactly where you want to go, know some foods to eat, perfect. But if we're gonna do our research, we literally just don't have time. It takes a while if you're gonna do research. If you're traveling for like a month straight, it takes so long to do the research for that. And if we're editing videos and posting videos already, it's just not possible.
And then half the time it really doesn't need to apply to us because we are traveling for a living. We're not traveling for a vacation. When we go on a longer or larger trip, we don't have any due dates. We don't have any times we need to be back. It's better for us if something happens, if a bus gets delayed, if a flight gets delayed, if it rains, to just skip a day, take a day break, stay there for an extra day. So then we can still film a video and do our job instead of being like, well, it rained all day, I guess, but we have a hotel in the next city, we better get going.
The research also doesn't really, sometimes to us, we don't think it increases the quality of our videos necessarily, because we like a genuine first impression reaction of something we don't know. It's gonna be so much harder to give a genuine reaction if we already know if it's like a beef dish with soy sauce, and we don't like beef or soy sauce. And so we're gonna have our mind made up if we're gonna like the thing or not.
We do like beef and soy sauce,
yes,
by the way.
Yeah. But even if we say we're not gonna let that dictate it, it still subconsciously does that. So in our personal opinion, it doesn't increase it. And also, we don't feel like we need to explain it in a video to people who already live that life. Like if we're doing a research talking about Quezon City is the largest city in the Philippines, like it's more likely that people would know that watching the video than not know that.
But we understand that our audience is from the country we're filming in the Philippines, so we don't feel like we need to like explain and do a documentary. We feel like it's more exciting for somebody to just watch our genuine, just throw ourselves into a situation, figure it out.
Like we said, one of our previous points, a lot of people like to watch to just see how we experience things. It's better if we're not just explaining to them what happens in their country rather than actually just experiencing the country.
We'd rather have people tell us about it afterwards.
Yes.
Like we do something and we're like, oh, that thing was cool. And then like, oh, actually this was this thing. And we're like, oh, cool. Instead of us being like, guys, guess what? This is this thing. Isn't that cool?
There's no way to transition into this, so I'm just gonna say it straight up. One thing we've noticed about the vlogging community also is the glorification of sex and sexual travel, sex tourism in vlogs. To each their own. I don't know if I even agree with that. To us, it is just gross.
It's weird.
I'm sorry. To us, it's gross. When we see these people and they come here and they say they come for the women because they act a certain way.
They're submissive.
They do what I say.
They'll do the dishes. They'll cook for me. Oh, I come to the Philippines or Thailand or wherever because
they're cheaper.
They're cheaper and they don't have the same needs as a white woman, or I can get a one that's half my age.
When we see that, especially in vlogs, it is just, it's interesting to us. I guess everyone has their own experiences. To us, it's just a weird aspect of the niche. That's like a sub. It's very small.
It's a cap. We've discovered some of these channels before we came to the Philippines. We're like, this is so weird. It was like these old men that were like, the women here. And we're like, oh, why? But there seems to be a cap. There's the normal vloggers who do normal things, and then there's the weirdo vloggers, and there's a cap.
It's this weird like subsection that I don't think reaches a very mainstream audience. But like with that, it's just the hardcore like objectification of the women in certain countries.
It's a fetish.
It's a fetish. Again, there's nothing wrong with a preference. But yeah, so when they're like 40 years younger than them and as they call submissive, it's getting to the point where it's not a preference, it's a bad fetish at that point. There was like predatorial almost.
There was a video we saw where they said something about the Filipino women will never leave you because they don't want to be poor again.
So you can no choice.
So you can cheat on them and they won't leave you.
And then again, that just goes into this assumption that the women are super poor and stuff like that, and it's like,
I mean, we're probably gonna get some backlash from those viewers in these comments, so I mean, we already do. We know we don't fit that clientele of viewership, but it's weird, and there's nothing wrong with people who actually find love in the Philippines.
And if they're happy, even with the age gap, it's definitely still a different concept to me that I don't fully understand. But as long as they're happy, if they're both happy.
We're talking about the ones that are like, we're coming here, I'm coming here because white women suck, and they're submissive, and they'll do my dishes and cook for me, and I'll get them nice and yum. It's weird.
We just gotta be straight up. This is the truth.
This is the truth. This is it's not really political, but it's getting real.
But yeah, when we see these like videos that are themed, these vlogs themed towards that sex tourist niche, and it's especially prevalent in the countries that there is more sex tourism like the Philippines. It's a weird truth about the vlogging that we stay away from.
Yeah, if this is a surprise to you, you probably didn't see our red light district video where we went there and we were like very disturbed by some old white men in there being like...
One of them was literally, they'd zoom in on the face of the girl and then zoom in on the breasts of the girl, and we were like, well, we would prefer a genuine connection with people in a country rather than just a sexual connection with people in the country.
I'm assuming most regular people in these countries as well find it disturbing, and I would say it's definitely a form of generally people from a wealthier country and people with more wealth using that to manipulate people that have less.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it is mutually exclusive and both of them are very happy Good. Cool.
Fantastic.
But sometimes
Predatory using.
predatory grooming, stuff like that, where you see clearly that one of the people isn't very happy. Oh, sometimes, usually both of them aren't even happy in that situation.
Like that
Weird.
one couple we saw in Germany that was just screaming at each other.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a bit of a heavy one. To end it off though, we're gonna go even heavier about the truth of vlogging. This is the heaviest thing. One of the YouTubers I enjoy watching, Ludwig, frequently talks about this. It's parasocial relationships. There are a very small section of viewers that do know us actually in person. Like we've met them. Some of them have sent us some stuff and talked in our Instagram DMs. But that's like single digits of people. Then there's also another small section of viewers who think they know us. Not even a small section. It gets into a bigger section of people who think they know us and think that they have the right to comment on our appearance, think they have the right to
tell us how to live our lives.
Tell us how to live our lives.
Tell us what we're doing wrong with our lives. Tell us that, oh, you just did this wrong because you have this ideology. Or they
people associating us with our country.
Yeah, they just like throw these ideologies on us even though they don't really know anything. Like maybe it was a huge shock to a ton of people, that ideology we just put out right there.
It probably was. But the parasocial relationships, it's a very interesting thing. We read a lot of comments and we appreciate a lot of comments. But unfortunately, we don't actually know many people that watch our videos. This is not just a vlogger specific thing. This is just an overall YouTube thing. That's just how it works. Both the vlogs in particular is interesting because we like to talk to a lot of the people. That's just part of traveling and interacting with local people.
A lot of people want to like know where we are in every situation. They're like, where are you guys now? Where are you guys now? Do we necessarily want to post on the internet exactly where we are at all times? No. But then we have people that like get angry if we aren't updated, if our videos aren't like created the day of.
I can totally, if I put myself in their shoes, I totally understand that. There's comments we get that are like, I want to know where you are so I can meet you. If I put myself in their shoes, I understand it totally, completely. But at the same time, if I put myself in their shoes and they're a bad person and they're saying that to try and meet us and do something bad,
we have to protect ourselves.
We do, yeah.
Who knows? We had that guy. I mean, not saying that guy was going to kill us, but the douchebag guy, clearly he doesn't like us. What if a guy shows up and he's really doesn't like us because we said, dang, you know what? This Boracay hotel kind of sucks. And he's like, no hotels in Boracay suck. And he shows up and...
Or he's a sex tour.
Oh, maybe. We show up and Granddad would be there with his big mustache and be like, what do you say about me, boy?
Find me back in Texas. I got 5 guns.
Oh, boy.
And then also just going a little deeper than that, we recently did like a little community post to get more topics for talking videos like this, and there was an absurd amount of comments asking about very, very personal things that you don't ask someone you don't know. I'm just gonna say it like that. You don't ask if someone has a girlfriend if you don't know them. We just get very intrusive questions sometimes, to say the least. And obviously, again, it's the 1%. And no, it's not even the 1%. It's a small percentage of the 1% of commenters.
Yeah.
So it's just a very small portion of people.
They probably mean well. I mean, there's a lot of people we know that really care about our safety and they want us to be safe. And that's usually the people that are like, hey, don't go to this spot. Hey, don't go to that spot. Hey, we got a comment on my community post that was like,
hey, maybe don't share that stuff. Sorry about some of these comments.
Yeah.
Keep that private.
And that's like the type of people that were like, yeah, so probably just stick to that kind of stuff.
And yeah, I'm sure these people are like very nice people. This is one of those things where they're just trying to get us to know us a little better. And we appreciate our viewers so much. So much. Obviously, we couldn't be doing any of this without them.
Just gotta be safe.
So yeah, it's just one of those things where even very, very famous YouTubers are never going to share personal info like that. Because although the people who are usually asking about that mean well, as soon as you share that info, the people, some of the other people that even didn't care are angry about it now. So we do appreciate you. And if you do see us in public, approach us and say hi to us. We'll be a bit awkward, but we promise we don't bite. We don't bite a lot.
Don't take this as a be scared of us. We don't want to talk to any of you, okay?
If you see us in public, we really like to...
Yeah, come take a picture. Come say hello. Let's do it.
But when it comes to the online sphere...
Yeah, we got to be a bit more careful with that stuff.
Sure. So. And even like sharing some of that more personal stuff. Maybe if we did know you more.
Don't take it personally if we don't want to share extra information.
So yeah, if you see us, approach us. We like to hear from you. We frequently get comments. I mean, we do walk very fast. So
Really
we
fast.
always look like we're on a mission, especially for Filipinos who seem to walk very fast. But we frequently get comments like, "Oh, I just saw you. I was a little shy to approach." Feel free to approach us. I would totally understand not wanting to approach us if we haven't clarified first.
Yeah.
So we've clarified. Feel free.
I just think of those comments. I think that's happened multiple times where they're like, I remember a recent one was like, "Oh, I saw Tyler at SM North, but I couldn't catch him. He was walking 100 miles an hour."
I'm not gonna not use these along the way.
Whoa! And I got the leg thickness. Well, that was a heavy video, wasn't it?
I'm assuming only 10% of the people are here, because that's another truth about vlogging in the Philippines. The retention goes down. Only 10 to 20% of the people that originally clicked on this video are watching at this point. And if you are, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
The 10% of you, let us know if there's any crazy comments down in the comment section below.
The best way to find that is to change from top comments to sort by new.
Yes!
You'll find some good ones in there, I bet.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I know this is a different type of video. We kind of like to do these talking videos. It seems like quite a few people actually enjoy the talking videos as well, so.
All we do is we just write very poor bullet points and then we just ramble on for about an hour long, so sorry if they're not super cohesive. We try our best.
It's the same thing as a vlog, but we're just sitting.
We can't do scripts. We can only do improv.
Yeah, so welcome to Trifate. Make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, you bloody frackers.
See ya all later in another video.
Bye.